Hello, it's me from the future. Let's be real here, I've done pretty much what every Minecrafter sets out to do, and now I'm bored. So let's get down to 100%ing this mod pack. Since I had no base ideas, I decided to start this video out in the Nether again, to get some adrenaline flowing. I then stumbled upon a forbidden fortress that had flying piglins for me to fend off. There was plenty of loot to be had, but the loot I was looking for was ideas for my base. So I left after killing everything, and maybe taking a couple of odds and ends from them. What is that? What? I'll take that. What? Okay, 2 new weapons just dropped. I'd like to see a mother trucker try to kill me. Come at me. Dang. Finishing blow. Oh my god. Wish I found these weapons earlier. I wasn't too scared to come here. It must have been his first day. It was his first day, don't worry. Little piglin statue. What's in your brain, buddy? Uh-oh. No way. You do. Drains the life of it. Okay. Is there another one over here? Yep, I think we're done here. Still fresh out of ideas, I then decided to chip away at one of the larger quests, wood collection. This section of the diary was the hardest because not only did I have to cut enough trees down to increase soil erosion, but I also had to stand by and grow said trees because I wasn't about to travel to cut down 1,024 logs of any tree. That's wasted time, and I wanted to get this video out ASAP so that I can get on with my life. So chopped I did with my awesome axe. I chopped them trees till I collapsed. I swung all day and I swung all night, swung with all I had and all my might, till the sun broke dusk and I had my logs. Now the sun sets. Construction. That's right, I went back into the create mod briefly to automate a certain food source, one of the better providers of calories. Honey glazed ham. This is one of the best dishes to eat because in this mod pack it fills 11 full hunger points and gives you the nourishment effect for 5 minutes. This effect basically prevents you from losing hunger at all within the allotted time. Needless to say, there was a reason for my suffering. I say this because I worked on this contraption for multiple hours with it breaking uncountable times. I mentioned that it was automated, but in reality, it gets congested really easily and breaks as a result. So throughout this playthrough, I had to delve in and deep clean this behemoth of a machine once every hour or so. Not fun, but I did earn each plate of honey glazed ham. This is my magnum opus, bro. This is my literal magnum opus. I'm so proud of this, and it really doesn't work that well. So I've been AFKing here since last night and through my entire workday. Oh yeah. And we're going to grab a whole bunch of raw mutton and sacrifice it to the any raw meat. So we could get increased attack speed, I think. Is that what it was? Yep, plus 0.5 attack speed. Boom. Now that we're on the topic of cooking, I need to cook up all the dishes in my diary. I promised myself at the beginning of the series that I would make a special area for each diary entry, so that I wouldn't be confined to just one large crafting area. So I went back to my Skyland and got to building an extravagant bakery fully fitted with cooking supplies. After building the bakery, I figured I would wait on cooking everything because I didn't have all the supplies stocked up to do so. I decided that I would go and look for a slime chunk to work towards completing the mob collection. After finding the slime chunk and demolishing slimes for around 10 seconds, I had to construct a special farm that served the purpose of processing guardians and drowned. I know that there are drowned farms and guardian farms spread far and wide across the internet, but none for my specific scenario. You see, I had a spawner for each of them, but since they needed to be spawned underwater, I had to figure out a way to get them to a killing chamber. I plopped on my thinking cap and then constructed 2 beautiful works of art to be used for a total of maybe 10 to 20 minutes each. After completing the mob collection section, I built a clock tower in the center of my Skyland. I got deep in the flow state and even broke out the bits and chisels mod again to inset the blocks to differentiate them from the spruce logs. Since I had the spare time, I also popped out another building that served as the winery. It was fully stocked and ready to craft the wine. I needed to finish off that part of the diary, but I waited so that I could cook and brew everything all at once. Since I like bouncing back and forth between projects, I focused my efforts on completing my mob collection by killing a ton of each mob for mastery, which would grant me one damage boost. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but we're going for perfection here. Guess what? We are officially done with the mob collection. That is +1 attack damage. With the mob collection finally finished, I was feeling like throwing hands for real rather than sitting behind a protected barrier and swinging my sword. I needed some thrill after my chill, so I decided to kill the Wither 6 times. I needed to do so because it was a required item for some wings I needed to craft. Speaking of which, I also needed to fight the Ender Dragon 9 more times to get 9 more pairs of wings, because end cities are small with no boat generation in this mod pack. Luckily, since I'm a badass, I was able to dispatch them easily multiple times. Light work. Bro, guess who can fly too, you son of a gun. You remember me? Oh my god! The ultimate freaking payback, bro! Get over here! Oh! Okay. I thought I just like unspawned or went out of here. Go. Get down here! I'm ready! I'm ready! Oh my god! Freaking die! Screw you! Yeah! Yeah! We're not done yet, buddy. We've got a couple more rounds to go. Alright, guys. This is the last time I will be fighting the Ender Dragon. His annoying self. Go right over here. That's how many times I beat him so far. One more slot. Number 9 right there. And I got all these special weapons. Come on! Come on! Fight me! It's so loud! I called you out. Boom. At that point, I was happy that all the Ender Dragon fights went without drama, so I started to craft all 9 of the elytras I needed for the transportation collection. This collection also included boats, automobiles, and aircrafts. After crafting all those modes of transportation, I decided it was time to bake. That's right, I'm finally utilizing my big old bakery to bake up some of the finest sweets there are. As the sun sets, to baking we will get, and as the moon rises, so shall our bread. Let's make a waffle. All right. So we baked everything over here. Now we gotta bake everything over here in the caking station. I finished baking everything. Everything is baked. And it's in this little chest here. All the slices, all the cupcakes, and the cookies, bro. Everything. But I wasn't done yet. I also decided while I was in the kitchen, I might as well start cooking all the other dishes I needed. And let me just say, it was a ton. After finishing that medium section, I had to head over to the larger section. At the time, I was already tired and ready to go to bed in real life, but I literally couldn't sleep because of how close I was to completing the cooking section. When I finished cooking all the dishes, I felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my chest. The food collection in this mod pack was the largest section, and I was glad to be done with it. After I finished crafting all that food, I didn't want to stop there. I had to go further and finish the last of the food and drink portion of this mod pack, the vinery, which wasn't all too hard, mind you, but the hardest part was waiting for the bottle to actually age. Okay. We've got all the wine in the world, and the completionist banner. Whenever that was out of the way, I made an AFK fish farm and completed the easiest portion of this mod pack, fishing. All I had to do was go AFK each night in a different biome, and boom, I had an uncountable amount of fish the next day, including a large amount of the special fish which I needed only one of for completion. There were also loot crates that would drop a golden fish that gave you +1 lore if you kept it in your inventory. Needless to say, it was super easy to get a lot of fish in a little bit of time. So much so, I was easily able to get +1 luck for donating 4,096 raw fish to the bundle rather than 2,048. That should be more than enough. Yep, there we go. By this point of playing, I had figured it was time to start construction on my museum, so that I could finally end the series and get on with my life. The only thing is that I needed to terraform a large part of my island so that it wasn't just a perfect flat plain. For the museum, I wanted to teach y'all about my routine for building, that I picked up over the many years I've been playing Minecraft. I feel that it's an alright way to make similar builds for cities and towns. Obviously, you need to have a block palette picked out, and I opted for contrasting colors to really make each of my builds pop out. But you can use any block your heart desires. This is my building technique. I basically make a shape. I start with the posts. I should have started with that. I start with these posts, and I count like an equal amount of blocks in like whatever direction, and that makes a shape. I just so happen to make a plus sign. But most of the time, I want like different tiers to my building. So I make some of the posts longer than the others, and eventually I come up with these designs for like the frames of my builds. I got all of the walls in, and I've started building the roof. For the roof, I'm gonna try and keep the theme going where there's like ventilation on the top with the fence, the wooden fence up over here, like in here. But this is the general design of it though. I usually start with the hard shell, and then I fill in the area inside later. And now I've got to take that roof and copy paste it to these 3 sections, and then the roof over here in the middle will be different. I'm thinking maybe just like a flat top, kind of like that, almost exactly like that. Yeah, we've got a little bit more interior done. We got the hardwood floor in, and we've also made an interesting design here that actually ties in the outside a little bit more. Earlier, this wall was just flat and white, and now it's got a little bit of loggage in there. So, that's a plus. And it looks nice on the inside too. Here's what we're working with. We gotta turn all this into a museum. After a couple of late nights of obsessively playing this game, I finally scraped together the last of the items I needed for completion. That meant that I had finally finished this playthrough of Minecraft. I painstakingly placed all of the items into my museum and called it an episode. But what is a season finale without a base tour? And during this base tour, I want to impart a life lesson unto you. Care for one another because this world is going to crap. If y'all would take anything away from this stupid Minecraft video, please understand that this world is making a beeline for selfishness, and I will not stand for it. Next time you see someone that needs help, help them. It could be holding the door for someone that has their hands full, or it could even be words of affirmation. We need more positivity in this world because without it, we are nothing. I've seen countless TikToks of people bringing other people down, and it just made me sick to my stomach seeing stuff like that. We should be bringing each other up rather than dragging one another down. Sorry to get serious there, but I felt like it had to be said. Economy. All the ores and everything. Got all the mob spawners for the mob collection. All these spawners. I've got homemaking materials, transportation, storage. Feel free to pause the video to look at everything because I am done. I've got this little cooking area for all of my food and drink. Farmer's Delight. Let's do candlelight. Let's do vinery. Let's do brewery. Let's do herbal brews. And let's do bakery. I've got all of the musical instruments and photo and painting things. And while we're listening to while we're debuting all of my instruments, I made a little song. That took a little bit of time. Probably can't hear it. I'll pull it up in a bit. I've got these guys and stuff down here too. That instrument's in the music box right now. But yeah, all of that's done. There's more. I'll let the rest of this play. Also found this flute, and it plays stuff like Creeper Aw Man, and this song, which I figured out after I made this music, Wet Hands. This is what it looks like, kind of. There's that last part right there. Anyways, so I've got a strawberry cake and a Joe coin on a pedestal out front because those are the very first two things that you see. The strawberry cake, and in this introduction, whenever you contribute, or if you want to contribute, just press a little check mark. It gives you a Joe coin. Figured these two items were pretty important to the mod, or pretty important to this museum because they're the very first things that you can get after claiming quests. Anyways, let's go down to Frog. This is the entirety of the Frogs by Ducks stuff. It's all in here. Got all the furniture. I've got also these guys here. Also Maraca. You could play that with the Frog Boys in the village, the Frog Village. Yeah, everything's on a pedestal, and it just sort of rotates. Got him. Now, let's go to crop. The crop section. Can probably go without saying, it is the crop collection. Everything here. All the seeds are in there and all the crops are displayed out on a pedestal. Now we go to logs. For the logging advancement, very interesting room choice that I have made, but I felt like it was, you know what, it's a log room. This is what comes to mind whenever I think of logs. Stripped oak logs. Every single log for the log collection. Then we can get down to the fish. Got all the crates here. Our shulker box full of our lures. All of our fishing poles and the angler's hat. And then all of our fish. From our AFKing journey. Alright. Now we go to port, which is short for portals. And this is the Nether and the end things. I got all of the eyes again. All of these heads were inside of a piglin sculpture in the Nether. And I got a Torch of Lunacy from the pipeline thing. Boom. Now we go to accessories and novelties section, which is my favorite one. Because we've got an infinity floor. This took way too long. I got everything from the accessory and clothing section down here because there was not enough room for the plushes and hats. Really cool. And all my backpacks are back here too. This is all of them. I can finally like sleep at night knowing that this is all complete. Also, can we get a gander at the floor over here? This is why I have my goggles and monocle off right now so that we can see throughout. Like all the way as deep as possible. It's awesome. This is my crowning achievement of this world because of how much time it took. That is a museum all done and dusted. I put in some art over here. Props to you if you know what that is. It's a dead meme, but you know what? I figure might as well bring it back for the last episode. Lit up the lake bed, the riverbed. Where else should we go? This is the clock tower. Nothing in there. I spread some benches throughout the pathway in case you got tired. All these guys are still going. I've got a sitting area for the vinery and brewery. So that if you wanted to get a couple drinks down in the nice and open air, you can. I like this area a lot. It's one of my more favorite areas too. On top of the deck area over yonder that we were just at, where the modern art is. I've got a vinery. All the wines in here. These are aging barrels used to craft the wines. Got my completionist banner right there. All my brews. Nothing much in there. We've got our sugarcane farm, which has been going. Go ahead and harvest everything out of there. We've got our animals over here, and just prevent them from placing like any more flowers. I put a bunch of moss carpet down, but since we do still need flowers, I love some for our poor little bees. Just want to take a brief moment and just revisit everybody that I have in the comment garden. We've got Kungular, Jimmy Raccooning. We've got my sister, my dad, my mom. We also have Yesteryear Resell, and No Holds Podcast, or I guess No Holds Pod. In the back rooms, they just sort of live here forever. Well, anyways, let's make a nuke. Run. Surely I'll be fine right here. I'd like to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll try and put some more videos out in the future as I get the ideas. Probably won't be Minecraft, depends on what I feel like in the moment. Anyways, I hope you all have a very nice day today. See ya.